Hi! On the Woodpecker today, I'm going to show how we made this plaque for our first grandson. The other day, my daughter gave me this piece of paper and asked if I could do something close to it for her son who's on the way. Since I've already made several small figurines for the Christmas fair, I figured this couldn't be that difficult. As a base, I'm going to use this felt monkey she and René made for a crib mobile. All the modeling will be done in Aspire. I'm going to show you pretty quickly how I made that monkey. After entering the dimensions I want, I can import the picture of the felt monkey the girls made. Then I trace some vectors for the monkey. I begin with the tail. After putting straight lines, I select them and press the N key to get in node editing. I select all the nodes and convert them into smooth curves. Then I trace all the outlines of the shapes that form the monkey. I begin with the body. When I have a contour, just like with the tail, I select all the nodes and convert them into smooth curves. Then I can move the points so they're closer to the final shape I want. I do this all over again for every part of the monkey. I'm going to go pretty quickly here because it's pretty repetitive. I trace the head, the hair, the ears, the first part of the face, the eyes, the second part of the face, the nose, and mouth details. But before, I only traced the general shape of the tail. Now I need to draw its cross-section shape. Stay with me, because you will understand pretty soon. I have to draw 3 half circles of different sizes. Now I'm ready for 3D modeling. I'm going to begin with the tail. I select the curvy line and open the tab, Create Shape along a line. Next, I select the bigger half circle and click on the lower section of the curvy line. Select the mid half circle and click elsewhere. And finally, select the small one and click at the end of the line. Give this a meaningful name and that's it. I have my first component, a tail. This is what it looks like in 3 dimensions. Now I can take care of the body. For this, I select the outline I made earlier, select Create a Shape from a vector outline, and choose a curved profile. After clicking on the Merge Combine mode, I just have to play with some adjustments until I have the shape I like. I give this a name and keep on going. I do pretty much the same thing for the rest of the body. For the head, this time, I choose the Merge Combine mode. This means that the head will be on top of the body. When all the adjustments are to my liking, I continue with the rest of the face. For the mouth and nose details, I do something different. I select the lines and go back to the tab to create the shape by extruding along vectors. But this time I use a small half circle pointing toward the bottom. And as easy as that, I have the rough shape of a mouth and nose. To do the hair, I play with the shape profile and base height until I have something I like. The only thing missing is the ears. They're done the same way as all the rest, with the Merge Combine mode. But for the inside of the ears, I have to switch Combine mode to Add. But if I look at the result, it's not quite right. I add a level and move the 2 components of the ears inside it. After changing the mode of the level to merge, I get exactly what I want. For now, I'm satisfied with the result. I make another level and give a 5-degree draft to my model. On top of adding a draft, this makes the monkey a single component. So now I can sculpt it. The first thing I do is add a little bit of space between the arms by using the smudge tool. Then I like to smooth everywhere. The transitions are better this way. Then I export this into a 3D clip art to finish the actual letter. Yes, this monkey will hang from this T. After importing the clip art I just made, I adjust it to the size and position I want it to be. Then I can make the final model. The first thing to do is to make the actual T with a flat profile of 7 millimeters. But now it's quite obvious that the monkey is not right. I need to change its settings. First, I must have a height of 14.5 millimeters and a base height of 7, just like the T. This is way better. But the end of the tail looks weird. I need to fix this. I start by making 2 shapes to delete parts of the tail. After making a copy of the monkey, I select 1 copy and 1 shape and erase parts of the tail. I do mostly the same thing to the other copy, but instead, I keep parts of the tail. The main body is mostly perfect. I will leave it like this. But the tip of the tail is not right. I select it and tilt it a bit. This is mostly what I did to make the T. Now I need to cut this on the CNC. I begin with a roughing pass. This is not very long. Then comes the finishing pass. This takes way more time. This is the final result. I can already see that the finished piece will be super nice. I also have the H to do, but I'm going to spare you how I made it because it's mostly the same operations I did for the T. Now I have to free the letters from this piece of wood. The first thing I have to do is to remove this fuzzy stuff on top. Now that it's gone, I can remove some wood to get the 2 letters. Now that I have both letters in hand, I can hand sand them. And what a better start than breaking the H in half. I glue it back together with instant glue. From now on, I will be extra careful with it. At least the T doesn't have a weak spot. When the sanding is finished, I brush a coat of shellac on them because they will be painted later on. But I don't have all the letters. The next cuts are the A's. Then come the N's. But in those 2, I also cut a pocket for a palm tree. Speaking of palm trees, I also have to cut them. Each one has some coconuts, so I need to sculpt them also. I always find it amazing to watch a piece of raw wood being transformed into a 3-dimensional sculpting. But I think I'm not alone. I often have visitors near the shop when I do this. Unless it's because there are clovers over there. Now that I have all the pieces, it's time to take care of the rest. I'm getting pretty excited because this is looking great. The most difficult task is not done yet. Yes, Chantal has to hand paint all of them now. While she does that, I take care of the plaque that will receive them. Before gluing the letters in place, I need to cut 3 keyhole slots on the back of the plaque. Yes, I know, clamping this and making sure it's straight takes more time than the actual cutting of the keyholes. But this way, I'm sure they are straight. Now that it's done, I can glue the letters in place. But before that, I need to remove the shellac I brushed on the back. I start to glue both ends. I make sure they're at the same distance from the ends and lay sandbags on top of them. When the glue is dry, I do the same thing, but with both A's. Just like last time, I add sandbags on top of them. Okay, it's actually the same for the last remaining letters. After an hour or so, I glue the palm trees in place. But since they've been painted, they don't slide into place as easily as before. Now the plaque is finished. Not really, because I still need to spray lacquer. After making sure there's no dust left, I spray the first coat outside, because lacquer stinks. But it doesn't take long before it's dry. Half an hour later, I can scrub the finish and spray one more coat. But the weather is not as nice as it was before. So the remaining coats are sprayed inside the shop. Here it is, all finished. I must admit, I love it a lot. But as usual, I'm not the one who worked the most on this. Chantal did an extraordinary job of painting it. The T and H look way better with paint on them. It's not only the sculpture that looks better with paint, everything does. This was how we did the plaque for our very first grandchild. I hope you liked it. As for myself, I'm very happy with it. And don't forget to come back for another episode of The Woodpecker.